ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it. Taking bad hits, taking bad hits. Subscribe for more things. Hey, what's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Hot Toys figure review on the Captain America the Winter Soldier movie masterpiece MMS 245 Falcon 1/6 scale collectible figure. If you're trying to get this figure yourself, you can pre-order it at Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below. Again, gotta give a big thanks to Budget Stark for making this review possible. If you want to see the latest coming from Hot Toys, you gotta subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's always posting updates over there. Right off the bat, I gotta say, this is a hefty piece. Not even opening it or anything. It's just a heavier figure, even though the box size is about the same size as the Black Widow. See, the image of Falcon wraps around and we get those same lines coming across over here. Where it says Falcon, you get that glossy finish, which is kind of neat. There are here on the back, you get all these credits. If you want to read everybody who participated in making the figure, pause it now. Then on this other side, you can see how the wingspan just wraps around. And then we can open this up and do the Hot Toys plop. See, it says Captain America in the front over there. You get all those hexagons. And coming around over here, you get Anthony Mackie in Hot Toy form. And there's the figure itself. All right, let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's Falcon out of the packaging, and what a badass figure this is, man. This looks so cool. I have a thing for characters that can fly, especially characters that have wings on their back. I don't know what it is. I just always thought that was really badass. This wingspan alone is just amazing. It's 2 feet across. Just a very, very cool looking wingspan. It's huge. I'm so glad Hot Toys did not go cheap on that. And as you can tell, putting him on this clip can be a little finicky. He has all these straps and everything right there. And I do have some gripes about the figure I will touch on, but for the most part, this guy is just a really badass piece. Just want to say, you know, make sure you read your instructions. And he does come with the same dynamic pose stand that we got with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Spider-Man figure. Little plaque says Marvel, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, Falcon. Then you can see right up top, it looks like the shield helicarrier with all the lane dividers and the big yellow shield logo right there. So that's pretty cool. I really love these dynamic stands. You could pose this any direction you want to, which I really like a lot. And then you have this clip right here that's kind of felted in the middle so it doesn't damage your figure. Now, the figure comes with 4 different pairs of interchangeable hands. You get the fisted hands right over there. We get these wing bar holding hands, which are very necessary. You get these gun holding hands. You can see the trigger fingers sticking out right there. And then we get the relaxed palm hands. These all have some really nice detail on them. See some of the stitching right here coming around the wrist and some nice wrinkles in the glove. You can see the wrinkles in his hands and the fingernails. All these little padded sections right here. Nice texturing right there too. These are all wonderfully sculpted. There's not one pair of these hands that is missing anything. Falcon punch! The figure comes with his 2 submachine guns. We get these 2 different pairs of wrist guards and you get a pair of wrist pegs in case you break those at all. Now these guns right here are really cool. They have some really nice detail on them. Look at that paint right there at the bottom. Looking very dirty. I like the silver dry brushing over them too. So you got that dirt on them and you get that silver dry brushing. These look really cool. And I don't think the clip comes out on these particular guns over here. And we do have this port for the wrist guard. So he has 2 different wrist guards because you have the kind that hold the submachine guns and you have the kind that don't. These ones don't. These still have some really nice silver paint apps on them and the sculpting is very well done. Very realistic with these straps. Attention to detail with these little buttons right there with the silver paint. I'm really liking this a lot. And then here's the wrist guard that does have the pegs sticking out for the submachine gun. And this does slide forward and back over here on a track, just like in the movie. When you have this attached to his wrist, you can just plug one of the submachine guns in like that. And you can just spin this around and have it face the direction that you need it to. And when you're putting these on, of course, you want the smaller strap closer to the wrist. And you want this little mechanism right here facing the inside. So you just put that on there like that. Really cool thing about this figure is that when you put these wrists on right here, it actually really hides the peg. I think that's great. You cannot see the peg at all. So here's a look at the head sculpt, which I think looks just like Anthony Mackie. My wife, the lovely Shirley DeWan, was looking at this and she said, I don't think that really looks like him. I think it does. We've both seen the movie quite a few times. Both love the Winter Soldier movie, and I think this looks just like him. I think it's really well detailed out over here. Get those lined out sideburns right over there, looking really cool. I think the hair came out really well with all those details in it. Paint apps are really good too. The eyes look really realistic. Facial hair looks very realistic on this guy. I really like the skin tone. You can even see some tiny little indentations and wrinkles right there on the forehead. It's just a great looking piece. Really awesome. I'm looking at the back of the head over here. Pretty cool, man. Now, the last accessory with this figure, aside from the wings, are his goggles, which are pretty awesome. These are looking really cool with these red translucent lenses over here. You get some nice gold paint apps right there on the side. And the instructions specifically tell you to strap these on from the back over there. and then have it come down over the front like that. And that looks really cool. It's to be aligned properly, but I'm really digging this a lot. Now, it does say you can't leave these on here for too long. You may damage the paint, and I think that's kind of weak, man. Now, looking at the torso section of the figure, it looks fantastic with all these gold sections over here and all these straps coming around, especially right here for the backpack. I really like that a lot. A lot of nice details in there. Now, the instructions don't say anything about any of this being removable. I guess the zipper actually does function, so you can open that up a little bit if you want to, but that's about it. I have no desire to remove any of this stuff, even though I feel like it does hinder the articulation a little bit, but still, this just looks really cool. We also get some nice deco and some beat up wear right there on the shoulder pad, and the material that they used for the arms, like his shirt right here, is actually a very flexible material, which does not hinder the articulation in the arms at all, which I really like. Get another Air National Guard logo right over there, looking really nice. The arms on the figure look really cool, very realistic, even though, I mean, that hair is kind of strange. The thing worth noting is that there's this little piece which is actually painted very well, but it goes into this hip guard section, and that will pop out, but there's a track for it that you can just plug right back in. Now here's my number one gripe. Just out of the packaging, I did not pose the figure at all. I just removed it from the package, and I was able to see there's a rip right there in the pants, and that's a bummer, man, because I didn't do anything to it, and it was already broken. So you can see this piece has come apart right there. And I don't know, maybe when this is, you know, getting released in the US, this problem won't be here, but same thing with this little piece right here. This is all torn apart also. So it's one thing if I broke it, but yeah, it was just like that, taking it out of the package, and that's a bit of a bummer. I'm not going to seek a replacement for this because it doesn't really bother me that much, because most of the time I'm having his legs posed while he's on the flight stand. But I gotta tell you, man, look out for that. But other than that, the camo pants look great. I like how there's this kind of dirt stain on him and everything. You get the American flag right there. He's got his knee pads. And another QC issue I had is one of these shin guards just popped off on me, you know, not doing anything, and I just glued it right back on, so that's not a big deal. They're still painted very well, and I really like how they look. The boots came out very clean too. I'm really liking all that dirt and everything around the tip of the boots and stuff. We also get some nice paint at the bottom of the feet over here. Falcon kick! These boots are looking pretty cool. We get some warning labels right there on the back, which I cannot read. It's so small. And as we look at the back of the legs of the figure, you can see all these straps right here have some nice dirty paint on them, making them look very realistic. The figure does have a tendency to get pantsed very easily, just like the Stealth Strike Captain America, which is a bit frustrating. But moving on to this backpack over here, this is really dope. I really like how this is made. And it does have a light up function. The batteries are actually already in there. What you want to do is you want to take this little piece off right here, and it's held together with a magnet. We get this little switch right there, and then it's very easy to just put this right back on, which I really like. You don't have to pick anything off. And then there's the light up function, which I really don't like because it's yellow. Why is it yellow? I thought it was red in the movie. I remember seeing this as red. If anything, orange, but this is very much a yellow color over here. It looks like we get some nice detail right there in front of the lights too, so it looks okay, just wrong color. It actually comes detached when you get the figure. Now I had to remove this off camera because it's kind of tricky. You have to lift up and out, and same thing when you're putting it on, you put it in and then downward, and there's just the back panel right there. Not a whole lot going on for the most part. You know, most of us are going to have it displayed with it on. Now attaching these wings aren't too difficult. You just have to remove the folded up wings right here that are on the sides. Just take that out right there, and just take this one out over here as well, and then it's pretty self-explanatory. You take the side that has the handle, it's going to go inward, and it just plugs right into the side of this thing right here. It's not too difficult at all. It's just tricky to see, and you're going to have a little bit of a gap right underneath there. That's supposed to be there like that, and just plug this side in over here. And boom, there it goes. And there you have it once again. This is just an amazing wingspan. I'm really liking it a lot. It is just absolutely huge. Then just looking across over here, you can see how beautiful these wings are. I love those little attention to details with these little scuffs over here. The red paint apps came out very clean. You get this milky white translucent plastic for the wings. And another thing I gotta mention is that this figure is balanced very well. I don't have him on a stand or anything. He's very easy to stand, and these wings are not super heavy or anything. I really like that a lot. And then looking at the front of these wings, these look really badass. I'm really digging them a lot. Now the way you get his hands around these is that you're actually supposed to detach these bars right here. I did break the one on the left side. That's my fault, I guess. Did try heating that side up with a hairdryer, but it didn't help. So you want to remove the top bar first when you do this. And get this set up is that you just wrap this around his hand, and then you just reattach it to the wing right there, and you plug the wrist peg right in there. And you can see in this picture right here how that looks, and it looks pretty awesome. Here's the other side, and you can see this is where I broke it right up here at the top. It's kind kind of sucks, but not the worst break ever. Now, this figure has some really cool articulation, man. First off, the wings have 2 points of articulation. You could bend them right over here, and then you could bend them one time down there like that. These aren't flexible or anything. It would have been really nifty if there's a way to pose these around, because I really like that in the movie, that, you know, you could see the wings bend and everything as he's going through his turns and stuff like that, but I think that's kind of stretching it. You know, it's a lot to ask for. You do get some good head articulation over here. You can tilt his head up that much, so he can look up pretty well, which I really like. It feels like he could look up even further, but it kind of goes back into position as I do that, so that kind of bothers me a little bit, but not the worst. His head does rotate side to side. You do get some neck pivot over here, a lot of neck pivot. The shoulders have great articulation. You can move them outward. They do have a ball hinge at the armpit joint, so you can shift the armpit up and down and in and out, and you can rotate the arms forward. You can actually get his arms moving all the way up, which I think is fantastic. He can bend a little bit at 90 degrees right over there at the elbow, and he does rotate at the elbow. He does have that wrist peg joint, so it does move in and out and rotate side to side. As far as the diaphragm joint goes, it's kind of non-existent, man. I can't really get it to move except for an ab crunch over here. I'm getting waist pivot, and I think the crunching is mostly due to the waist joint, so I'm not really seeing any kind of articulation right here due to this vest hindering all of that. And you can see the pants are coming apart right there at the bottom. That's very, very frustrating. He does have the hip joints that move outward that much. He can kick forward quite a bit. He does have an upper thigh swivel. He does have the double jointed knees, so you can see how that bends in right there. And he has surprisingly more ankle articulation than I thought he would have. You can move his feet down just a little bit. They do move up. You can get his boots to rotate side to side, and he does have ankle pivot. I really like that a lot. This is a 1/6 scale figure, and Falcon stands just a tiny bit over 12 inches tall. And you can see with this humongous wingspan, I'm seeing it somewhere between 22 and 24 inches across. Here's Falcon next to the Stealth Strike Captain America figure and the Winter Soldier Black Widow figure, and you can see that Cap's still the tallest out of these three of them. I still think this Captain America is just a little too tall. And here's Falcon compared to the Winter Soldier and the First Avenger Captain America figure. I think these three figures actually fit in a scale a bit better. Then here's Hot Toys Falcon compared to the Marvel Select Falcon and the Marvel Legends regular version of Falcon. Well, I'm surprised they didn't go with this costume right here for the movie. Yeah, I just don't know why. And of course, here he is next to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. And here's a figure once again on the flight stand, which I think looks badass. I just really love that I can get this figure into these flying poses. This just looks really cool to me. I'm digging this piece a lot. I mean, just when you see him in person, it's just a huge wingspan. It just takes up a lot of room and just looks magnificent. I highly recommend it. QC issues and all. It's still a very cool figure to me, and I'm very happy to have it. And again, I gotta thank Marvelous News and Budget Stark for making this review possible. If you want to see a photo gallery of images, check out marvelousnews.com. And I hope you guys liked my video. If you did, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button right over there. And if you haven't already, check out my review on the Hot Toys Star-Lord right up there. And I just reviewed the SH Figuarts Broly right down there. And also, if you got time, check out the Shartimus Wank channel. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
That's crispy.
So yeah, pretty easy. I really like, whoa.